there folks, welcome to Share Inspirations. In today's video we are going to be talking about this beautiful plant called Queen of Prairie, botanical name Rudra. I also have the botanical name in the description and in the title of the video. This is a beautiful perennial that looks very similar to a stelbe, except a stelbe comes in many colors. This only comes in pink and white. This is a slightly fragrant plant that grows anywhere from 4 to 6 foot tall depending on location. I am in Southern California, high desert, zone 8B. This is a native plant of United States, native to wetlands in particular, however, very well adapted to dry soil as well and dry climate as well. This is where I'm going to be planting them. I'm going to be planting mine in partial sun. However, if you are in northern states, you can go ahead and plant them in full sun and they will be just fine. The plant can grow from zone 3 to zone 9. Always keep that in mind whenever you're adding anything to your cutting garden. If you try and grow it below zone 3, then it's not going to survive the winter. If you try and grow it over zone 9, it's not going to thrive because it's not going to have that cold stratification period that is needed for the plant to flower and so on and so forth. Anytime you add perennials in the cutting garden, I keep 4 things in mind. Number 1, if it's pest resistant. Number 2, if it's disease resistant. Number 3, if it has tall stems. And number 4, if it is if it has a long blooming season. Most plants are that you want to add, you should look for these 4 strictly. However, if you're compromising a little bit on maybe the blooming season or maybe a little bit of shorter stem, that's fine. However, the 2 things that you don't want to compromise on is number 1, the pest, because you don't want to be growing plants that are pest buffets, and number 2, disease. You don't want things that are going to cause nothing but problems and you're constantly spending time taking care of the plant rather than actually enjoying the plant. So depending on where you are in the country, keep in mind the pest and the anytime you grow a garden for a little bit of time, you get to realize, okay, I got, for example, with me, I have leaf miner problems and I got aphids, and not anything huge, but I know those are my problems. This plant is not bothered by any of that stuff. So keeping that in mind, the only thing I'm compromising with this is blooming season. It only has 4 weeks of blooming season, which in my opinion for a perennial is very short. Perennials, when I grow them, I like to at least have 2 months of growing or harvesting season. That way I know that I can have constant blooms coming in for my bouquets. But 4 weeks, in my opinion, is a little bit too shy, but not so bad because it gives me so many other things to work with. I'm going to go ahead and show you where I'm planting mine. Of course, I have 15 of them, so I'm not going to take you and show you where I plant on each one. However, I will give you one example of how I'm planting it. Basically, what I'm going for is keeping this crown upwards and planting just the roots. Okay, fall is a great time. Late summer, fall is a great time to do divisions. If you have a friend, if you know somebody who has this plant, or if you want to purchase it on an online nursery, fall is a great time to plant. What I like always to do is to make sure that my plants are in the ground before my first frost, at least 1 month, so the plant has time to adjust and not get shocked as soon as it goes in the ground. So my first frost is first week of November. I would like, if you are in a warmer area, warmer zone, you probably want to get it down in the ground by October first week. I'm putting it down in August, and I'm hoping to have flowers to cut hopefully next year, since most of these roots are pretty well established. This is going to be, as I mentioned, a perennial. Slightly fragrant, tall stems, and let's take you outside and show you where I'm planting mine. Hey guys, so we are now outside getting ready to plant. Something that I didn't mention earlier is the reason why I have these soaking in the water is whenever you receive something bare root, usually the roots are extremely dry. If you're buying them from the store even, the roots are going to be very dry. And what this does is it kind of kickstarts the plant, gives it some moisture to soak in before you plant it into the ground. Anytime I receive plants in the mail or purchase bare roots from the store, this is the process I go through. I usually soak them for at least 4 hours, and sometimes around 6, depending on how long and how much life do I see in them. These seem to be pretty healthy roots, so I felt that 4 hours was plenty good time. Now I have a hole dug up here, and I'm going to go ahead and plant a couple of big roots in this. I have the hole dug with this auger, and I will leave a link below to where to get the auger. And let's get started. This area that I have selected is partial sun. This is a place where the plant would get plenty of moisture on its own instead of being super dry. Whenever I plant something in the garden, I always make sure that I have a location where I am aware of the winter sun and the summer sun. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and leave that up and bury the roots. I'm going to go ahead and do one more good sized one because that hole is pretty decent size. Maybe one more. And what basically I'm going for is a clump system, so it's multiple plants, not just one plant. So here we are. Let's go ahead, so right there. Instead of these two, I'm going to go ahead and put this one down, and then do this one right here, and the other ones I'll go ahead and plant elsewhere. Basically, we're just keeping the crown up and burying everything else. And these, as I have mentioned earlier, were divisions of Queen Prairie plants. And that was the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Right here is one, and right here is the other. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.